school, and furthermore, the many tales about the consequences of the lack of safety in our schools made the need for action abundantly apparent. Our chair, David LaFontaine, and the bulk of the commissioners agreed with me, while also seeing the logic and wisdom of Dr. Held's argument, so we settled on a compromise: making schools safe for gay and lesbian youth, breaking the silence in schools and in families. The next debate was what to include in the report. Certain recommendations were made, like the need for a statewide law protecting LGBTQ youth from discrimination, were quickly affirmed. But we got stuck on the issue of curriculum. Working with a task force of educators, I had formulated detailed recommendations for curricular inclusion across all subject matters and ages. The overwhelming majority of the commission rejected these, saying they were simply politically impossible to advance in the wake of the controversy in New York City about its Children of the Rainbow curriculum, which had resulted in the chancellor losing his job. We ended up settling on a rather mild plea for curricular inclusion, with no specifics as to what that meant, and sent the report to the governor in February 1993. To Weld's credit, he immediately welcomed the report and vowed to implement its recommendations, save one: curriculum. He distanced himself from this aspect of the report, so much so that the headline on the front page of the next day's Boston Herald read, "Weld, there will be no gay school lessons." And it basically got dropped as the state went on to formulate its first-in-the-nation Safe Schools for Gay and Lesbian Students program. For more than 2 decades, this has nagged at me. While my fellow commissioners were probably right that there were very real limits as to what we could expect schools to do in the early 90s, when same-sex sexual relations were still illegal in many states, mind you, and did the politically smart thing in overruling me, I've always regretted that we settled for less than what we knew was required. As Michael writes in his introduction, is safety the only thing to which LGBTQ students are entitled at school? In 1993, I guess it was, but that never sat well with me. If anyone is to blame for the dominance of the safe schools frame, with all its limitations, for the next 2 decades, it has to be me. I took the Massachusetts model nationwide when GLSEN became a national organization in 1994, and for nearly 2 decades beat the safety drum hard, first as executive director of GLSEN until 2008, and then as President Obama's Assistant Deputy Secretary for Safe and Drug-Free Schools from 2009 to 2011. The conflagrations that even this seemingly mild and non-controversial frame inspired, including an effort by over 60 House Republicans to have me removed from office in December 2009, showed that it was and remains politically volatile to ask schools to address LGBTQ concerns. But the safety argument always involved a bit of tongue-biting on my part. I knew that for LGBTQ students to truly thrive, not just survive, safety, as Michael writes, is not a sufficient goal in itself. It just never felt politically possible to say it. Well, now someone has, and thank God for that. Michael Sadowski's book is a much-needed and long-overdue upgrade of the Safe Schools movement, moving us beyond what is politically possible to what is educationally required for LGBT students to thrive. Michael makes a compelling case, with specific and highly practical examples, for students to go beyond mere safety to full inclusion for LGBTQ students. His analysis is sophisticated, taking into account not only sexual orientation and gender identity, but also factors such as students' age, race, class, religion, and region, to name a few. Michael offers every member of his audience, regardless of whom they teach or where they teach, useful takeaways for creating meaningful change in their schools. In short, he has given us a roadmap for the next phase.